Will, I have something I need to confess to you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I missed Northern Lights.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. Everyone was talking about the group chat. I didn't say anything, but I didn't. You might know I didn't put any pictures in. I didn't see it. I missed it.
How did you miss it? What were you doing?
I was watching the new Anne Hathaway flick. You know, I mean, she's one of our own. Will, she's one of our own. No, watching the new Anne Hathaway film. Mainly because of that interview where she was like big Arsenal fan. You know,
Yeah,
Trossard, I love you. Watching it, Will, on Amazon Prime, the same Amazon that did the All or Nothing Arsenal documentary.
That's true. Yep.
Turns out, Will, the movie was partly funded by Arsenal, sponsored by Arsenal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking into it, and back when they did this thing, this partnership with Arsenal, it was part of the contract that they would have to like fund an upcoming movie, like as part of the deal. Because I mean, when you think back to that documentary, everyone's like, "This is dumb. Why do you only see a documentary on a team that hasn't been in the Champions League for years and is not anywhere in the league?" And afterwards, they came out smelling like roses, and Patreo is such a good manager. Like the way he handled Aubameyang, like it was a puff piece at the end. You know, like for whatever reason, Arsenal came out looking really good after that documentary of like the behind the scenes of a club that was doing really badly. So it was in Arsenal's interest. So what they had to do then was like fund a movie and like kind of sponsor an upcoming movie. And like I'm watching the movie, and of course, like there's like product placements in there, and an Amazon delivery man comes to Anne Hathaway's house in one of the scenes, and who do you think is the fucking delivery guy?
Is this real?
Emil Smith Rowe is the fucking Amazon delivery guy in the movie.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What?
Because it's Arsenal funded like that, and that's why this whole like, oh, I love Arsenal. It's all a fucking psyop, Will, and it doesn't stop there. There's another scene where like she's in like this local dive bar, and it's a rom-com, of course. The local guy is like at this dive bar, and there's these guys who are like abusing Anne Hathaway, like saying like kind of, you know, really tame kind of misogynistic stuff. And he's like, no, I'm going to say those guys. Like, no, leave them. Don't mind them. You know, like, no, I'm going to stand up for them. I'm going to confront these guys. He goes over to the fucking table. Who's at the table shouting fucking horrendous misogynistic stuff? Ray Parler and Paul Merson. And they're throwing peanuts and they're fucking saying racist stuff. And it's like, this is definitely on the script. Crazy stuff. All sponsored by Arsenal, Will. An Arsenal project. And then one more scene, then it's like he's got a troubled past, this guy. He's like, I did drugs because, like, you know, everyone in my area did it. Just older guys gave me drugs and that was it. I was hooked. And like it's a flashback scene. And like he's there like as a kid, and who'd think the older kid who gave him drugs was? Gunnosaurus. Gunnosaurus is this troubled teen who gives the guy drugs. Yeah. No, it was terrible. It was a terrible movie. I missed the Northern Lights because of it. You know, I had to research this all afterwards, find out what was happening. Missed the whole damn thing. Yeah. No, it was a pretty crap movie, but so you know, I'd give it probably like a 5 out of 10. Will that movie?
What's the movie called? What's the movie called?
I don't know, Will, but I have my own kind of. If I was to write a review in this movie, I would call it a boring or a less film.
Oh,
you know, like Aurora Borealis kind of. It's there. So I missed Northern Lights.
It's okay. Not once in a lifetime or anything. That's not what anyone ever says about
I think it's going to happen in this week as well, I think, or something. I don't know. But look, it's not nice to miss things, and you don't want to miss this episode.
Nice. I was wondering where this was all going.
Some segues are easier to land on than others. So yeah, after you checked out that new Anne Hathaway movie, I think it's called fucking Another Love Story or something, or One Chance at Arsenal. The All or Nothing. Anne Hathaway, The All or Nothing Story, I think is what it's called. If you want to miss that, you want to watch that, then after that, you got to sign up, become an ultra, and catch this episode. If you're wondering why I do that, well, good question. That's a very good question. Maybe instead of telling you, I can just I will tell you actually in a clip for.
Yeah, we can't show anything.
No, I was going to show you, but maybe just listen to this clip and see what you think.
Yeah, here's a clip from the show. If you like it, good.
Thanks, Will. Hello, Ultras, and welcome to a no-nonsense podcast. Those crazy Tottenham bastards, they almost pulled it off, Will. They almost pulled off the greatest con in history. They convinced everyone they didn't want to win the game. You know, I'd say when Man City rolled in and everyone was doing the Poznan, there was probably, what the hell is going on in here? It was a very strange build-up and a very strange atmosphere in the stadium.
I would say one of the oddest games I've ever watched in my entire life.
Because the players obviously wanted to win. I don't think there's any real suspicion about that. Maybe some of the finishing in certain instances wasn't the best. But for the most part, you know, Tottenham actually played pretty well. There was pressure on the game too. Man City were making a lot of mistakes. But I mean, I think the atmosphere probably, as well as the pressure of the game.
It's true for a loop.
strange thing to go out and try and win this game when seemingly everyone else wants to win this game. It's like, should we win this game? If they want us to win, maybe we shouldn't win. You know, kind of reverse psychology.
It must be odd when you're on the break in Tottenham Stadium, you're running towards their goal, and the Tottenham fans are like, "Go on, yes!"
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've seen people talking about the 94-95 season. Well, this week, no, It's a very similar situation. On the last day of the season, Man United were playing West Ham, and Liverpool were playing Blackburn, and Blackburn needed to win against Liverpool to stop Man United win the league and to win the league themselves. I explained it so badly. Anyways, the point being that Liverpool wanted to lose against Blackburn so that Man United wouldn't win the league, right? And Blackburn kind of crumbled a little bit, you know, and they lost 2-1. But when they went ahead, when Alan Shearer scored the first goal for Blackburn, the whole Anfield crowd erupted in cheers. It was like, yes, we're losing. Again, the players wanted to win, then they would go on and win 2-1, beating Blackburn the last day, and then Man United drew with West Ham, so it didn't matter anyways. So it was all, hey, you know, well, all's well that ends well, you know, even though it was like, well, that was kind of weird, you know, but it's, I guess when it's Liverpool, you can't be saying small club mentality because back in 94, only been a few years since they won the league. So I was like, well, you know, we'll be back, you know, we're a small club. Now.
Next season, that was the famous stick to beat them with for a long time.
Yeah, this time next year, we'll be Premier League winners. Anyways, point being, I don't remember a lot of the discourse back then. Also, no social media, so it would have been largely in pubs and in person and in schools and whatever. But when I think was Tottenham, it's like they do get this kind of small club mentality thing thrown at them. Certainly, that's what Ange Postecoglou thinks.
Yeah, play the clip.
I mean, there's too many clips to play, isn't there? Which clip do we even play? There's like compilations, and there's like
before the game, literally during the game, he's having it out with fans. Amazing.
The last 48 hours has revealed to me the foundations are fairly fragile, mate. So, that's what I feel. I just think that's, like I said, the last 40 hours has revealed a fair bit to me, and that's all right. That just means I've got to go back to the drawing board with something.
That is a man, I saw someone sum it up very well, that it's incredible how quickly he's been beaten down by the Spurs, just the whole Spurs thing. It seems to happen to every manager. They come in, they're like, no, we're making some changes around here. This, not on my watch. Then a few months later, he's like, what the hell is going on around here?
Like, for anyone who isn't aware of the whole circumstances, basically, Tottenham had to win this game against Man City. And then the final game of the season, which is this Sunday, they'd have to win that game against Sheffield and hope that Aston Villa also lost that game. So it was a long shot from the beginning. From the very beginning, it was like, okay, you know, I guess it could happen mathematically. Not mathematically complete yet, but, you know, it could happen. And also, if they had done that, they would have got top 4. But also, that would have meant that Arsenal, and, you know, personally, I wouldn't have put any money in Arsenal to win on the last day in that kind of situation either, to be honest. I mean, that would be in the perfect situation for Arsenal to be ahead with only one game to play. The least amount of time to play. So it wouldn't have even been mathematically given the title to Arsenal. Would have given the Arsenal the opportunity to win on the last day. The players obviously, they want to be in top four. They want to make their national team. They want to play well. They want to, extend their contracts, whatever it is. They're professional footballers with their own kind of goals and stuff. The fans, though, I think, and you've seen this probably loads of times with different club rivalries. Like your club wins the league, and the other club wins the Champions League. Well, what would you take? And they always say, "I'd rather kill myself." It's like. Now they usually do like 10 people and they take the most unhinged ones. They post it, but it's not like a strange kind of idea that you want your rival club to fail more than you want your own club to win.
He was asked before the game as well, the same question basically, like, how does it feel going into a game where the fans want you to lose? And he was like, "What fans? Give me a number."
Yeah, like what percentage of the fans?
So he'd already heard this all week. So he was riled up. The Athletic put out why this came about. It wasn't just that he was annoyed that the fans were cheering for City goals and things like that. Apparently during the week, one support staff member reportedly joked with Postecoglou that he should field a youth team against City. The Australian apparently responded furiously.
Yeah, whatever with the fans, like, it's fine. I don't mind. Like, that's just, like I say, it's the unhinged ones, whatever. But I mean, if someone in the club, also a professional, whatever they're doing in the club, they're working there from way. You should be concerned about the success of the club as an entity. To then be like, well, I hope we lose. It's like, that's crazy, because that just means it's like it's okay. He felt that it was okay to say that to the manager of the team.
Yeah, that is,
even as a joke.
Yeah, like he said, that is there's something in the foundations of the club. Like, I don't think you'd get that quote from a lot of other clubs, no matter what was going on.
I think that there's people that would certainly think that privately, quietly, like, "God, I hope we lose though. I'd rather actually that we lose this game." But you'd never say, it's like, that's part of the job here. You're meant to be all behind the manager or whatever. I don't know. I think it's for him then to come out and be like, this is a kind of a small club. And I mean, we could play the clip of Conte and Mourinho and probably other managers as well before that.
The compilation,
who said that this is the history of the Tottenham or whatever, that famous quote.
I hope the Tottenham fans don't get me wrong, but the only club in my career where I don't have still a deep feeling is Tottenham.
This is the first time in my career to see a situation like this. And until now, I wasn't able to change. Not to change, but compare last season, the situation went to become worst.
I understand. I probably misread the situation as to what I think is important in your endeavour to become a winning team, but that's okay. That's why I'm here. 20
years that there is the owner and never won something. But why? Only for the fault is only for the club or for every manager that stay here? And I have seen the manager that Tottenham had on the bench.
I just think that's, like I said, the last 40 hours has revealed a fair bit to me, and that's all right. That just means I've got to go back to the drawing board with some things.
We need to win this game for us. Forget about everybody else. Like, we're trying to win this game for the sake of winning the game, for the sake of winning. And the fans, I mean, people come out on podcasts and afterwards, like, he doesn't get it, Yeah, he's managed Celtic for years, but he doesn't know what rivalry
he doesn't
means.
Get rivalry.
He doesn't get what hatred actually means. I think he does get it, but he's only been there this year, so he's not thinking of the history of the Tottenham. He's not thinking, well, what's the point? We had Harry Kane and Dele Alli, and what happened there? Nothing. I think the fans are looking at it and seeing all the previous times where they thought they were close, and then, like Pochettino got them to the semi-final. They're playing they got them the final of the Champions League. They're playing the best football in the league. They lost that year to Leicester in the Battle of the Bridge and all that. Like, it was a great year, and joy it made and all that stuff. But like, when they look back, then it must feel like a dream that like that ever happened.
Yeah.
That like they were that close. They were that good. They had the best players in the league, and they didn't do it. So I mean, I think if they were closer to the top, I think, say if they were miles out in fourth, and this game, maybe the only thing they had to play for was maybe finishing third instead of fourth, and he was like, like, Arsenal have 13, we have whatever 2 or 3. if we get 3 or 4 more, they'll still have 13. It doesn't change anything. You gotta, if you're gonna go down that route of like they'll have their trophies, but we're trying to win ours. Like forget about them. It doesn't really work if you're nowhere near it. It doesn't really work if like people in the club have like seen how the season's gone and gone. We were at the top for like a minute, and now we're scrapping for fourth. And like hopefully, if this team loses and we manage to win, and the goal different plays out, they don't believe it. They don't believe that like we're winning for winning's sake. Like no, like we're winning for your job. That's what you care about. That's what they're interpreting as. They're not thinking like, this is to like the next step in getting to the league. It's like, no, they've seen it before. They don't buy it.
It is, like you said, it's foundationally a thing where like he obviously wants to instill a winning mentality. Losing is not an option, no matter what. So then when it's the first hurdle where it comes up, and it doesn't happen, I'm sure he's probably thinking like, well, like I'm never going to change anything here then. And like you said, people are saying he doesn't get it, to the point where the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust, so the official fan group, like, you know what I mean, they have said that they would be happy to set up a meeting with Postecoglou to explain the context around the rivalry with Arsenal and why the feelings run so deep. I'd say if he got that email in, he'd be like, fuck off.
I think he might actually resign if that
I
happened.
think so. And that was the vibe I got from the press conferences of he knows, maybe not resign, but he knows like, I'm not going to make the changes here or have the impact here maybe I thought I would. Maybe another season, but this is going to fizzle out, definitely.
Yeah, no, I think it's been a pretty disastrous season for Postecoglou. I mean, maybe because it started off so well. And I'm like, this guy's the best. I wish he was my manager, this kind of thing. And now it's like, all right, this guy doesn't do tactics, apparently. Refuses to get in someone to help him defend or do any of that kind of tactics. And now he's falling out of the club. Like, before, like, say, someone like Conte or someone like Mourinho was like, well, it's Tottenham. Like, you wouldn't hold that against him. This seems like kind of his own doing a lot of the time. He's kind of falling out with people. The results on the pitch haven't been great. And, like, that's what people are saying as well. If you care so much about winning, then why don't you play such a high line? Why maybe you care about winning, you defend more. And I saw one during the week there, someone posted a screenshot of the team they had out in the Carabao Cup game against Fulham earlier on in the season. This is when they were going well in the league. And thought, maybe we can win the league. Maybe we'll fuck off the Carabao Cup. Maybe we won't bother with that. That's what I mean. I think if they've been going well all year and it came to this scenario, say they're still in third or fourth, and it happens that they can hand some initiative to Arsenal, if you can turn around and say, look at the season we've had, it's not about them, it's about us, then you might get a bit more buy-in. But I think because of the way it went, it's just winning. Yeah, right. Like, you can't just turn around now at the end of the season and go, we're about winning. It's like, we're in fifth. Like, like if we were about winning, we'd be a lot higher than this. Somebody else who put actual money. I'm not accusing people of betting on their own games here, or I'm not calling anybody a Tonali right now. But what I'm saying is that Aston Villa were so confident that Man City would beat Tottenham. They organised an entire dinner dance.
They had their end of year season party before the end of the season.
2 games before the end of the season for Man City. They, like we say, they were waiting on City to beat Tottenham to confirm their place in the Champions League for next season. And they were all decked out. Black tie event, champagne on ice, waiting for Tottenham to do what they do. Cameras on Emery for the moment that they're going to win. I don't know. That moment when it shows Emery cheering and all the champagne going. That was actually just when the teams were announced. That's when that happened. The team sheets came up and they just, yes! This confirms it.
I don't know if you saw in that picture, everyone is buzzing. Like there's champagne flying, everyone's fists in the air, shouting and roaring. Ollie Watkins is stone-faced in the back. And someone replied under it on Twitter with a screenshot of an interview with Ollie Watkins saying he's a huge Arsenal fan.
Yeah, I mean, that may be true. He could have been like looking up and down at his phone maybe, and then he hears the cheers and he just looks up and then camera clicks and he's like, oh look, he's miserable. It happens sometimes. He could have like cheered second after that. I never saw that,
Yeah.
All I saw was a screenshot. I never saw. There was no video of him like looking down on the ground. Sad. I don't think he fucking cares, to be honest. Really.
No.
I mean, lots of players are fans of clubs when they play. I mean, if he was a real fan, he wouldn't have scored against them a month ago, would he?
Yeah, that's true. You would at least celebrate with his hands in the air.
Yeah, even do that. So I mean, I think that was just one of those kind of it looks like this, but
Yeah.
A Martinez, former Arsenal player, Arsenal fan, Will, maybe. I mean, certainly when they're playing against Liverpool, he was keeping Tottenham in the fight long enough so that they could possibly get a result against City. I mean, they played Liverpool midweek as well. Liverpool actually did have nothing to play for. Well, I got that wrong last week because once Man City beat Fulham, then Liverpool were mathematically out of the title race. So they were actually marooned in third. They couldn't go up or down. And I mean, this is the kind of pressure that they're under. You know, like Liverpool under no pressure, doesn't matter, not much to play for. Villa needed to win this game to be in charge of their own destiny. Sure, they're pretty confident it was City, but still, it's like the pressure that was under. I mean, I don't know if you saw Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher in their team of the year, their end of season awards on M&F. Apparently, Jamie Carragher had Martinez in the team before the game, and he took him out after that fumble that went in. And they called him out in his scout. Well, you can't ignore that. I mean, that happened in the season. Can't repair the season after that. Jesus. Like it was, I don't know that that's pressure or whatever, but I mean, it was a good game. Another I think a year of high scoring draws. It's been pretty exciting most of the year.
Yeah, the football has been very good, I think, all year. It feels like a year where the systems don't really work anymore, apart from cities, but it feels like there's a lot of back and forth and back and forth and back and forth now.
And it looked like it was going to be a Liverpool kind of easy win. I mean, Aston Villa have lost a lot of games recently. I think the last 6, including the Europa League semi-finals. I mean, they got destroyed by Libiakos over 2 legs. Haven't won in the league in a while. Haven't won in 3 in the league. Drawn 2, lost 1, and then the 2 Europa League games as well, and then this game. So they were kind of, I wouldn't say they're like cracking under pressure. Maybe it's just a long season for them. But they came back, to be fair to them. They came back and they drew 3-3. It obviously doesn't matter in the end. But how do you think they're gonna fare? I mean, 1 in the summer, and then 2 next year going forward into this Champions League season.
Yeah, see, it's another season as well where I think the Euros is going to kill a lot of teams that don't have the big squad. Like we saw season after the World Cup, where was that this season or last season?
I think it was the season after the Euros, 2022. All the English players were
gone.
Wrecked. Anyone over 25 had a terrible season.
Yeah, I think it'll be another case of that. And then when you throw in Champions League on top of it, like the Europa League is one thing, but I think in the Europa League, or the Conference League, Aston Villa were in, sorry. Like, you can
It's a Thursday night for the Europa League. That's the biggest issue.
Yeah, it's a Thursday night, but also in those games, a lot of time you can kind of play your second team because you're the Premier League. Your second team would smash whatever Azerbaijani team you're coming up against in the group stage. But I think in the Champions League, you're going to have to play your first team over and over and over. And then they've just played the Euros as well. So yeah, I think unless they get in some serious reinforcements in the summer, I don't know. It could be like we've seen before where Brighton get to Europe and then, like this season, they have a poor season in the league because they're stretched thin now, and it happens all the time. So I don't know. I do think they've got a big summer ahead to try to get some players in. I don't know if you saw the quotes going around from when the Aston Villa owner first came in 11 years ago, I think, or 10 years ago. And he said his dream is to win the Champions League by 2026. So he's technically on track. Because
he's right on track. Yeah.
The fact they're in the Champions League at all in that time frame is crazy. They were just relegated to the Championship at the time.
You got to set out big goals, Will. You got to reach for the stars, and if you fall, you get whatever that famous quote is.
In order to shoot for the moon, you got to land on the stars, or you want to land on the moon, but sometimes you make fucking mistakes as part of the game. But
again, if I didn't see it, it'd be fine. It's the fact that the TV cameras can pick it up and the ref doesn't. It's like that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we have proof, and then nothing happens because of us. That's what is this? Sport? This isn't fair. This isn't right, you know? Yeah, I mean, do you want to hear Anthony Gordon's take on it?
Absolutely.
Let's play the clip.
I'm not too sure how good my ankle will be, but I mean, I've watched the incident back. It's a clear penalty. I don't mind the referee getting it wrong on the pitch because it's a difficult decision. You know, things happen really quickly, but I don't understand what the point in VAR is then, because it's there to correct mistakes. He goes down my Achilles and pushes me in the back, and then Casemiro come against the ball, but it's 2 fouls before that. So I honestly don't see the point in it.
So can you just tell us, at that time, is it quite clear to you, even in that split second, like what's happened? Casemiro hasn't fouled you, but Amrabat has.
Yeah, I knew straight away. That's why I didn't appeal, because I thought I don't mind the referee not giving it. Like, it's fast, but I'll wait for the VAR to check. And you can see me telling my teammates, "Don't worry, it's a penalty, clear penalty."
Right.
And then we carry on, and I'm just like, me sock. I've got no sock left, so how can it be possible?
Yeah, I mean, that one. I think back in the day, before all this technology was ruining the game, you would have seen the lowly rated Amrabat on the ball. I was reffing going, okay,
here we go.
Where are you going with this, pal? And then he starts, do he keep you up to something for some reason? Loses the ball, runs after a player, and then the player goes down. You're thinking, I know exactly what happened there. This big clumsy idiot pushed him and knocked him over. But because the ref's like, I'm not calling anything until I see it on the cameras, which, to be fair, does make sense because they have like 3 different angles. You have one. He's waiting for the VAR to call him up on it, you know? And the VAR looks at it and goes, no, it's too late. It's gone. It's gone. I can't do it. I forget it.
Engage.
So Anthony Gordon feels that they should get better at it or get rid of it. Doesn't know what the point is. Easy to say, but how do you get better at it? Like I say, I think it's subjective. I mean, the ref didn't call it because he's like, I didn't see the whole thing. The lads in the VAR room said that wasn't a free. Anthony Gordon thinks it was a free. I think it probably was a free, but there's definitely people out there who are not Man United fans necessarily who would think, it's a normal come together. Yeah, he stood on his foot, but
these things happen.
You know, whatever. And again, there is refs that would look at him losing the ball first and hold that against him and say, you put yourself in that position. I'm going to punish you as much for the bad play as it is for the foul. And they'll do kind of amateur psychology, like, oh, he was rushing back to try and get the ball after he lost this, you know? So I don't know. I mean, it's not like black and white, these things.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get better at that. I don't know how you come to a resolution on that because there's 2 sides there who one think it is, one think it isn't, and you're never going to get those people to meet.
Yeah, and it does feel like again, VAR does dominate everything, and there's always a VAR call, there's always controversy, but that's because like there's always tackles, there's always fouls in football. That's not going to change because VAR's gone. It's just now up to the one man to decide rather than the team of people. And you would think a team of people is better equipped because they have more opinions than the one man who maybe didn't even see it at the time. So I don't know. I think it's just the way it is. It's the sport that's, you can't perfectly referee it until there's some kind of all-seeing AI.
Yeah. Again, one man. Not one robot. Not a man. Because you know what they say about a camel, Will?
What's that?
A camel is a horse made by a committee.
Wow. I've never heard that.
Never heard that one? Like the bumps and it's like it's weird shaped. And I was like, okay, everybody had their little hand on this one, you know? Look at that beautiful, clean horse. Look at this camel made by you. Everyone had to get I want a hump, you know? I want big hooves, you know?
Hey, if he's getting
I
a hump,
want to be shaggy and hairy. Yeah. I want to have a long tongue and big lips, you know? It's like, why is all this stuff on this horse? You've destroyed that beautiful horse. I think maybe it's a bit of that. Maybe the solution is the ref needs to call it on the pitch. Like they used to, and then you correct them. But I think there's a lot of that where he saw the foul there or whatever on Gordon, and he said, I'm not calling that because I don't have to.
And we've also heard Mike Dean confirm that he didn't want to embarrass his pal on the pitch by being like, well, you got that wrong, but come on. He's had a tough day. He doesn't need me shouting down his neck now as well. So I don't know, maybe the solution is get in a bunch of new VAR officials and refs who maybe don't know each other. Maybe that's the idea. Don't have them all be pals.
They did address that, didn't they? Or they said they were going to address that.
I think so. I don't think they ever did.
And they got the air traffic controllers in, and there was no more mate stuff, and it was, yeah.
I did see an amazing piece of VAR news today. So for next season, they're bringing in the automated offsides, which, as me and you have discussed before, fake. No way you can animate that quickly.
No.
But that's not the only change they're making. They're also bringing in, or there's talk of bringing in, where when a ref goes to the monitor, it was in the Women's World Cup, when the ref goes to the monitor, they'll then announce their decision to the stadium to let everyone know what's going on and why he's called it this way. But apparently there's some backlash to this from the referees because, and I think the exact quote was, they don't feel confident in their abilities to succinctly put into their decisions to a full crowd.
Oof. Yeah, fair. I mean, it's probably speaking. It's a different skill.
I mean, that would be tough. I mean, you're in a 70,000 seat stadium. You're about to call a penalty for the away team, and you have to get on your little mic and go, he took him down, lads."
Yeah, the decision is, I don't think it was a normal coming together, and then you get booed and hissed. And, what the fuck are you looking at? Like if you're ever at a match and someone gets fouled, people will immediately shout, "Ref, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then the ref, like a second before the ref gives this.
Yeah.
And then they don't like scream at the player who fouled them. It's like immediately scream at the ref. It's like, "Ref!" Oh yeah.
I have never been at a game of any sport where the fans didn't think the referee was fucking them.
Yeah, but it's all about like immediately shouting at the ref to call it rather than like giving out to the player for fouling them.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of hatred towards referee. You're on the big screen on the mic saying what you think objectively as a professional referee, and people boo you anyways. No matter what you say, even if it's right, they'll boo you. And again, at home games and away games, what's the protocol there?
Yeah.
You're gonna call a big call, then go on on mic and confirm it. Yeah, I think he dived. Boo! I don't care what you people think. It just turns into WWE then.
If you liked what you heard.
Wow, that was good.
Yeah.
Sorry, Will, I interrupted you there. If you like what you heard,
Yeah, if you like what you heard there.
if you like that,
This is a shambles.
okay, go again.
Am I starting or you?
You started. You just do. I can't do
Okay.
it anymore. I'm done.
All right. Wowee, what a clip that was. Or maybe two clips that you heard. If you like what you heard, there's plenty more where that came from. This is a bit of a doozy of a Patreon episode, so you might have heard like 20-ish, 25-ish minutes there. There's like a whole other hour of that episode on Patreon. Ultras only. If you go to the description here, you can get the link, patreon.com/nononsensepod. $4.50 a month, you get access to all these bonus midweek episodes and all the backlog of all the past bonus episodes. If you want to catch the Premier League in full in the future, from start to finish, you got to sign up, because otherwise you're not going to have a clue what's going on. You're going to say, who were Man United? How did Man United get on against Newcastle midweek that week? You're not going to have a notion, because
You won't know.
Yeah, you won't know because it was on the Patreon. And that's not all we covered this week. The midweek games, we also had a little review of Attack on Wembley, a documentary about Wembley falling on the day of the Euros final a few years back. Very entertaining documentary, very grim. And we give our takes on the societal issues that led to that day. So it's all there if you want it.
It's a good app. It's a good app, and like we have the Euros coming up. You want to cover that? We'll be covering that. You can beyond that. You can watch and listen to our coverage.
You don't have to cover anything. You can just listen to us do it. That's the beauty. You
got the Euros coming up. We're going to be covering that. And if you're like, I don't care about the Euros. I only care about club football. Have you seen these clips going around? People like, I'd rather England win the World Cup or your club win the Premier League. And I was like, I don't give a fuck about England. I only care about my club. If you're one of these people, well, then you can listen back to the whole, like I said, the backlog, all the Premier League action. You can live it all over again, during the summer. So either way, you have to sign up. There's no choice. You have to.
Yeah, must.
You have to.
Yeah, have to. $4.50 a month. The price of, I don't know, what even is $4.50 these days?
Damn, I was just saying this the other day. I got this like screwdriver set. I showed you.
I was going to get the screwdriver set.
I got this like screwdriver set, and it's like
Nice.
it's got brackets and everything.
That'd come in handy.
Ratchet wrench and screwdriver bit set.
Okay.
It was like $5.49 in Lidl, and I got a coffee, like a large coffee, fair, and it was not takeaway. It was sit in. I think it was like $5.20.
Yeah,
I was like, when in history has coffee been the same as tools? Useful tools. That's where things have gotten. So useful tools that last probably the rest of my life. Look at that thing. That's sturdy.
Yeah, it's very rare someone needs a new screwdriver.
A coffee that gives me a high for 45 minutes ish, or a podcast that you can listen to for the rest of your life as well. So that's what you're picking between,
Yeah. Yeah, you want the 45 minutes of the coffee, or do you want, I would say, 100 hours of podcast now?
Hours of people distracting from the voices in your head. I mean, can you even put a price on that? I mean, we can, $4.50 a month, but generally, can
price,
you?
Yes.
So it's a good deal, folks. It's a very good deal. Sign up.
I think we've pitched it hard enough.
Yeah, it's done. I will talk to you Tuesday. We'll talk to you Monday or Tuesday. We'll be back.
The Premier League is also coming to an end.
And we'll be back. We'll be back. Sorry, yeah. The Premier League, of course, as well. It's finishing up, and we have Champions League. The free episodes that will keep coming all throughout the summer for the Euros as well.
Yeah.
But if you want to get the whole thing, that's what you get the whole thing. But we'll see you Monday or Tuesday.